Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles.
My name is Kirk.
The AFC West, part 5 of 8 of our 2024 divisional series, picking the over-under win totals for the whole league.
Love it. Love it. Because we're almost there. We're almost there, folks.
We're
Get
almost
ready.
to training camp,
Ooh,
and soon football will be
You could feel the anticipation in the air.
the sugary football television waves glossing over us as we...
Sugary.
Yeah. we lay down on the couch and let the syrupy sugar feel of football absorb into us and into the couch.
It gets messy, folks.
It gets messy. It gets messy. I can't wait for football. I'm ready.
I know, right? This is like the hardest part.
Yeah.
Just that sweet anticipation. You're like, just give me a game.
And it's just like, I mean, this is usually a pretty bad time for sports. You know, I mean, we had the soccer stuff, the Copa Americas and stuff like that. But I never get into soccer because it's 0-0
The whole time.
Just
Just clicking on for the penalty kicks.
boring.
Yep.
Though Xander Schauffele won the British Open today,
Hey-o.
and we've got a dram of Glenfarclas 10 here.
Glenfarclas.
The Royal Troon. Okay, let's get into the Chiefs.
Yeah. Because we're just bypassing them. This team, first back-to-back champion since the 04-03 Patriots.
Right.
Which is shocking. I never thought I'd see the day.
Really, and
I was a freshman or a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, and not unlike a lot of those Patriots years, it'll go down as the Chiefs won back-to-back championships. They were a dynasty. Last year never felt like it was the Chiefs' dynasty year.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
like we were worried about them. Like in regular season, they were the 3 seed.
Yeah. If we had got up here, 2023 Kansas City Chiefs preview, and said the Chiefs are getting to the playoffs, they're going to beat the Bills in heartbreaking fashion. The Ravens are going to choke in the AFC title game, and they're going to come back from behind to 10 points against the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Everyone just laughed at us.
Oh, yeah.
Like, duh. That's just the most boring predictions, and that's exactly what happened.
I know, right? God. So frustrating. It should have been the Lions losing to the Chiefs.
Gosh, I can't wait to talk Lions next. I still cannot get over that loss.
But yeah, you got the top 3 guys. You got Andy Reid, head coach, dude's a Hall of Famer. Patrick Mahomes, Hall of Famer. Travis Kelce, Hall of Famer. So you're pretty set just with those guys.
And I think the story of this year is, are they going to get the defensive support? Last year was about the defense.
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't have won that Super Bowl without Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, Justin Reed, Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed. I'm just railing off their names because they don't get enough respect.
Oh, yeah.
Really, Mahomes and the Chiefs offense, they didn't score points. Like in the playoffs, they were like the 15th ranked offense in this season, regular season. And then against the Ravens and 49ers, they went like 7 quarters without a touchdown drive.
Ugh.
I think I talked about that on the Super Bowl preview, or Super Bowl review. Their overtime touchdown drive to win the Super Bowl was their first touchdown drive since 10 minutes into the second quarter, or 10 minutes left in the second quarter of the AFC title game.
The Ravens game, yeah.
So they went all that time without really doing anything. The defense kept them in it.
Locking it down. And it's still good. Like, I love the way they've rebuilt their program. They're like, we got a Hall of Fame quarterback. We're going to let him do his thing. Let's invest some money into our defense.
Yes.
Let's help out Chris Jones. Let's make sure we got a good young secondary back there.
Yeah, and they've been hitting with secondary draft picks too. It just seemed, L'Jarius Sneed is gone, but it just seems like they're so deep, so much depth, so much drafted corner talent. They figured out some sort of algorithm mining the college.
I don't know how, but they did it. They got good scouts there.
But not to say my usual Miles thing, but they could also all get injured.
They could all get injured.
That's the thing. I hate predicting defenses year to year because it's so dependent on the injuries that you get.
Oh, yeah.
Like next man up? No.
Yeah.
You have to keep your stars healthy to keep a good defense, period.
Especially secondary-wise.
Yeah.
Like, you got one guy out there that should be a practice squatter. Like, offensive coordinators, quarterbacks, everybody knows we're hammering this guy.
Only as good as your weakest defender. But all the flowers that they should get for their defensive title last year.
Yeah.
And Mahomes deserved that defensive title because 2019 and 2022, the Chiefs defense has given up like 25 points a game.
Oh, yeah.
So he deserved one.
He was carrying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk. But do you think Mahomes can get, this is weird to talk about, but can he bounce back from his back-to-back Super Bowl season? But he was down last year.
Yeah, he was down.
And he bounced back. I don't know.
I mean, everybody kind of blames the receiving unit. Mm-hmm. And, they did have a lot of dropped passes. The offensive line got penalized a crap load last year. Everybody says, the Chiefs are getting favored. It's rigged in their favor. They were the most penalized offense in the league, at least like top 5.
Yeah.
I don't know the actual statistic. But Mahomes is Mahomes. He's going to get you. If he has to play game manager, that's the best game manager you want.
Yeah.
He can hit anybody. It's not his fault that MVS is dropping deep bombs right down the pipe and blows a game for you.
Kadarius Toney and Nicole Hardman are wandering around like lost children in a toddler soccer game. Where are they? They just don't know where they are.
Right.
Let's talk about the receivers. Let's talk about MVS is gone.
MVS is gone. Hallelujah.
Hollywood Brown is expected to be, a deep threat. They drafted Xavier Worthy from Texas, also another kind of Hollywood Brownish guy.
Ran that 40 in a hell of a time.
And then they're hoping Rashee Rice, despite his multiple legal troubles over the offseason, takes a step up.
It seems to be a classic Chiefs thing. There's always some guy that's
Kareem
just
Hunt
great player, but just can't, seem to keep his off-field activities just a normalness. But the receivers have improved this year.
Yeah.
You can't get much worse than what they had last season.
True.
I think that Hollywood Brown or Marquise Brown is,
is he not going by Hollywood now, or
is he? I don't know.
It says Marquise Brown in our depth chart, so I'm just going to
maybe he's just not Hollywood enough now. So
maybe honestly, maybe it's been too long.
Yeah, but I'm up on him. This is perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think he's really got an opportunity to run over the middle all that often. Just run little zone routes and whatnot. I think he can be a real good game changer. I don't think we've actually seen him play the game he wants to play. We're acting like he's just a burner. I think he can be kind of a secondary zone buster to Travis Kelce's zone busting.
Nice.
So I really like that addition to their team. It's going way under the radar this season.
It is.
Because everybody's talking about Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. And I like Worthy more than Brown because we have seen too many seasons with Brown. He had Lamar Jackson. It wasn't like he's gone. And he had Kyler Murray, and it's just kind of been mediocre the whole time. But this is a great fit. And really, Worthy and Brown together is really, really good.
Because you can bring the top off on either side of the field.
Yeah.
And, you just let Kelce roam the middle like you normally would.
Yeah, where does the defense help? Wherever they help, Mahomes goes the other way. You've got a quarterback who can do that. You've got a coach who can clearly... on paper, I'm really liking this more than maybe Kadarius Toney will become a star plan last year.
Right? God, we were so hyped on that when it actually happens, that trade. But man, oh man, what a bust.
Earth to Kadarius Toney, dude. We'd love to have you back on this planet.
Yeah.
Where is he? He's just a weird dude.
I know, right? Just classic Chiefs. I don't know where Andy Reid finds these people. And I hope Rice doesn't get a big suspension or anything. I think he's in the clears for now.
Yeah, for now.
So,
you never know.
You never know, but
the NFL suspends people based on outrage, not based on actual crime.
Yeah.
So if people start to make a big deal about it,
then he'll get suspended.
Yeah, and they might resuspend you if people get more upset later.
Oh yeah,
that's the NFL.
But he really showed his name last year. He was really good second half of the season. Somebody needed to emerge from that group, and it was him.
Yeah, and he was a rookie, and now he's not. Yeah. You can expect some improvement. Offensive line is still good. I'm feeling like this is the team, right?
Yeah.
And their over-under is 12 or 11 and a half.
11 and a half.
12 wins.
Yeah.
Trying to make a three-peat. I guess the question is on the scale of, 1976 Steelers, 1990 49ers, two teams trying to go for a three-peat. They probably should have had a three-peat. They were the favorites, just like the Chiefs are right now, and they choked it somewhere and got beat. On that scale, or to the other scale, which is like 99 Broncos without Elway.
Yeah.
68 Packers without Lombardi. How likely is this three-peat?
I mean, I do think they make it, far in the playoffs. I mean, it's hard to pick the Chiefs not making an AFC championship game at this point.
Yeah, 6 in a row.
Yeah. But, they are definitely hunted. They're going to get their best. Everybody's going to give them their best shot, kind of like they did last year, and that's why they struggled regular season-wise, and they stayed healthy, which is shocking.
Yeah.
For a Super Bowl team to stay that healthy was pretty incredible. I like their chances. I just don't... It's so hard for me to pick a three-peater.
Yeah.
It's never happened in the NFL ever before. So I'm just like, I don't know. Something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
I kind of lean towards Pacheco getting hurt.
Ooh.
Just because he's had 2 good seasons now, and that's kind
great.
of the depth behind him is not good. So you kind of lose a weapon in that might screw him up a little bit. But
You don't believe in Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I do not believe in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He has disappointed us year
Man,
after year after year.
I literally quit fantasy football because of that,
Oh,
man.
man.
Screw you, Clyde.
That could be Jonathan Taylor right now.
It could.
Man.
Oh, that's so crazy.
God.
Literally could have just drafted Jonathan Taylor at
And
that
just-
32nd pick.
And just be dominating. What's their over-under? Did you say that?
11 and a half.
11 and a half. Man, that is a high bar.
So you got to say 12 and 5, basically.
Basically
to get
saying
this.
12 and 5.
They were 11 and 6 last year, so they were not 12 and 5 last year.
Yeah, they were 3 seed last season. Oh man, I think I'm gonna go under. I think 11 sounds about right. AFC is super tough. Getting 12 wins in that division is brutal.
God, and they start with Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Yeah, like
Lamar, Burrow.
yeah, and they're gonna lose a division game somewhere because the division opponents always get 1 or 2 on you.
Yeah.
They got San Fran again. I mean, it's not easy. Houston at the end. Pittsburgh might be okay. You know what? I'm going over.
Okay, all right.
I'm going over. Now that I looked through it, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
You're going over.
I'm going at least 12.
You're feeling
at least 12.
like Andy. I'm going over too.
Okay.
Andy Reid has become the thing that he was always criticized for not being. He's the Belichick now. He's the team shepherding these super talented, super confident teams through the regular season, blazing through the cupcakes. Like you talk about the hunter and the hunted.
Yeah.
They're the hunted, but they're like...
they're
like
good
a
at it.
moose,
Yeah.
right? It's like they don't care. They're very good at deflecting prey.
I'm a big old moose.
Yeah.
He ain't taking me down.
Now I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. We'll do our picks.
Okay, yeah.
Before the season, but I think they shouldn't have won the Super Bowl last year. I really don't think.
I'm just like, you got Andy Reid, and that defense is still like super solid. Mm-hmm. I mean, and their division's pretty weak. So yeah, I mean, I can see them pulling it off. We've already seen Mahomes' road games, so now he'll get the 1 seed again.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure they will, like you said, drop a game in the division. But the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos, they are absolutely failing
Oh yeah.
us, the rest of the NFL. It's like the Bills, Jets, and Dolphins during the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick time. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Why you got to take a hibernation right now?
It's like, quit trying to do these rebuilds or all-ins on free agency.
It's the panic factor, I think.
And they think they have to just they're playing to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And rather than just being a good football team.
This is the intangible effects that having a dynasty in your division has. So let's start talking about those teams. We're gonna go first to the LA Chargers. 5-12 last year, projected to be better. 8.5 over under. And the big headline, of course, Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan man, getting out of there before the cheating scandals cripple the program. Shout out to Pete Carroll, who did that as well, coming to our Seahawks.
Right.
Obviously, that's the big story. They got the big fish of most the last 5-6 years of every coaching hire news cycle in January was we could get Harbaugh.
Yeah.
We could get Harbaugh. And he always stayed with Michigan. Remember when John Gruden was that guy?
Yeah, right.
For a few years. So it doesn't mean it's going to go good.
Doesn't mean it's perfect.
But the Chargers have landed the big fish.
They're acting like this is already playoff-bound team just because they got Harbaugh. And I'm just like, man, I don't like Jim Harbaugh at all. Whiny little guy. I mean,
we hate him.
As a Seahawks fan, we hated that 49ers team with Harbaugh, and I still hate him.
Yeah. Well, and we're Huskies fan. They beat us in the national title. So we're not super...
Not pro Harbaugh.
Yeah.
His brother's okay.
Yeah. We may be a little biased.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. He just tore down the team. I'm going to build my own thing, but I don't think he's done it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my issue. So I give it a year. But everybody's acting like this is going to work right off the bat.
Yeah.
Herbert's finally got his coach.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to run this great system, the Harbaugh system. And I'm just like, you ever watch those old Niners games? Like, dude, they're lucky they had Kaepernick who could scramble.
And the Michigan games.
Yeah.
Like, the Jim Harbaugh teams have succeeded with defense.
Defense, yeah.
For sure.
And does the Chargers defense look that great?
No, it does not.
No,
Kirk.
it does not.
I mean, it always
look
looks fine on paper, but it always performs poorly.
Yeah.
And he's bringing in Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator from the Kaepernick days. He was the one who was, running Lamar Jackson like a running back. And, I mean, it all is forming up for that classic, we're going to run the ball year,
Yep.
which I just hate. You know what? That's like, we don't need Keaton Allen. We don't need Mike
Mike
Williams.
Yeah.
We just need to run the ball. I don't know why more teams don't do this, right?
Because they never win the Super Bowl.
Because you always win a couple extra games in the regular season and then lose to the first good quarterback you meet in the playoffs. Always.
Every single time.
Forever.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, as a first step to building, I'm kind of okay with it because you do have an elite quarterback, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So
I take skepticism to him being an elite quarterback.
Okay.
I'm kind of tired of
you're getting
saying that he's elite.
I'm honestly, even when I said it too, I was like, I'm getting a little annoyed with Justin Herbert.
What's it? This is like his 5th year, I think, or something like that. He's made the playoffs once and lost.
Blew a 27-point lead to the Jaguars.
So, and most of that was because Trevor Lawrence was just throwing picks, so like he didn't even have to work the field.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, Phillip Rivers was great, and was it his fault that they haven't been doing good?
Herbert's a stat guy. He's a stat guy, so everybody loves. They call him elite because he's good in fantasy football. He's not a killer. I think I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but he is just not that guy that you want. Just coming down the field and getting things done for you. Yeah, he had one season where he just like always got the 4th down conversion. 4th and 10 gets it. 4th and 10 gets it. When you got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and you're kind of an unknown quarterback, it's going to work sometimes. But I don't like him without weapons. I don't like him having to be in like a system. I just like...
I worry he'll follow the system too much.
Yeah.
Because all those 4th downs, they were like, okay, Justin,
just do your thing.
Our run the ball plan failed. It's 4th and 10.
Yeah.
Go get it. And he would go get it. But like Justin Herbert doesn't have the spark within himself to like push the coach at all.
Yeah.
I almost worry this mix of personalities. Jim Harbaugh's such a dominant personality, former NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's just a yes, sir. Gonna check down
all
you want me to, Brandon Staley. I'm always gonna coach says, I just hate his personality for what is needed for an NFL quarterback. Like everything Andy Reid says, Mahomes is like, nah, it's my name out there.
Yeah.
I'm a shot creator. I feel like he takes another level. It's like if the Beatles went in the studio and listened to the record executives and just did Beatlemania for the rest of their lives. Like Justin Herbert, like, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He's 40 years old, still recording. I want to hold your hand. Like that's Justin Herbert.
Right.
Whereas Pat Mahomes is like, let's make Sergeant Pepper's. And they're like, you can't do that. It's like, watch me.
Yeah, I'll do it. And Andy Reid's like, sure, let's do it. Yeah, I like that comparison. That's fantastic because Herbert's not that guy. He's not that guy. And if this team is going to be run first, running backs, good Lord, are you kidding me?
Okay, but that's we're almost on opposite ends of this here. I think because Herbert's not that guy, I kind of like the way they're building the team because he can do the other stuff.
Okay. Oh yeah. I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to predict because I just don't like Harbaugh. I don't like the system, but I know it works enough in the regular season to actually be okay. So this might help Herbert, but it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's not elite. He needs to become a game manager. We need to quit calling him up in the rafters here with Mahomes and like he's behind that with Burrow and Josh Allen. I'm like, no, he's lower than that. He's in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. But because of his personality, he could do it.
He could.
That's what's frustrating.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they are weak on weapons.
They are.
Offensive weapons I don't know what the heck
no
they
Mike
got.
Williams. Austin Eckler's gone.
Completely new group of weapons.
I mean, they're talking about who's the running back? Gus Edwards has come in.
Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins.
You gotta be kidding me.
Like, what are we doing?
Greg Roman's like, it worked before. And, they have a lot of good offensive line pieces. So, I mean, that's what they're trying for. But I don't know. This year, it's not good.
Yeah.
In the future, I could see a world where you run this stupid run-first offense. You release Justin Herbert in the playoffs. There's a formula there that at least makes sense. There's a shape for me, is all I was trying to say there.
Yeah, okay. I kind of agree with that. I just don't see it coming together this season, mostly because of just the lack of weapons, especially receivers.
Yeah.
Why did you get rid of Allen and Mike Williams? Like, that's just the Harbaugh move. And everyone's like, well, they drafted Lad McConkey.
Good God.
That's going to work.
The white guy from Georgia.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, like, I don't know about that. You're expecting him to be Cooper Kupp, and I'm just like, I don't see it yet. And then the Johnston guy is an absolute bust. We called this before he even played a snap.
He wasn't good in college,
Yeah.
so I don't know why he would be good in the NFL. Quentin Johnson sucks. They have no deep threat. I mean, they brought in DJ Chark. He's not going to play the whole season.
They did throw the ball a ton last season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like that they're not just going to keep doing what they were doing. They tried it for 3 seasons. It didn't work out. Let's get Herbert a different coach. Let's mix it up, build through the offensive line. I just don't think it's there yet because you're relying too much on your defense to be like a Kansas City Chiefs defense.
Yeah.
It ain't there. That defense has been awful.
Old.
He's
Joey
old.
Bosa only plays 8 games a year.
Bosa just,
Derwin James is good, but,
he's always hurt.
He's always hurt,
He's
too.
always hurt. He's not making through the season.
They have to play with no home field advantage. The stadium is never loud in favor of the Chargers.
Like, how did that happen? We put 2 teams in LA and just like
there's too much to do in LA.
Their
life isn't football.
Yeah.
Like in Green Bay, you're going to the game.
We gotta go to the game. There's nothing else to do.
And it's gonna take like a generation to get LA truly back into football.
Yeah. But it is kind of sad. They never have a home game.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, when the Raiders go to LA, it is
the
a
Chargers
home game
are in the
for
silent,
the Raiders.
The Chargers are in the silent count at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm worried about this team.
8.5 is the over/under, which does seem to take into account some of our like first year wobbly, shaky here because the Chargers are usually hyped every season.
Oh yeah,
8.5 is a pretty good number. They only have to go 9 and 8 to beat that.
I mean, I think I'm still going under. I think they struggle. I think the running backs are going to get hurt. I mean, I think that line, we're expecting it to be fantastic, but there's still a rookie tackle and whatnot, So, I mean, there's still worries and concerns.
Yeah.
The weapons aren't there. The defense sucks. I can see a 7-win season, a 6-win season, and then this thing's starting to prosper.
Mm-hmm. I'll go under too. Just bad ownership, no fans, no weapons. We're just not even really that pumped on Justin Herbert. I could see Justin Herbert having a really bad year and us actually being on the other side of it next year because we're kind of wobbly. I'm wobbly on the Chargers overall. Yeah. I just know this: the Chargers always look good on paper and they always suck. Under.
Yeah. Maybe this is a good thing for them, but
maybe it will be.
Yeah.
Maybe next year they get a couple good receivers and we start rolling.
I feel people are just this number is even higher than it should be in my opinion.
8.5.
Yeah. It's just the Harbaugh effect because I've heard people being like, this team can compete for the division, and I'm just like, what are we talking about here?
You can really rattle off on paper names when you talk Chargers because we glossed over Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, but that's a big deal for people.
Oh yeah,
but we know
it's like it's not winning.
Yeah, I look forward to the shot of both of them in hoodies with their names under there.
Yep, these guys are getting paid this much this season.
Let's go to the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders, 8-9 last year, 6.5 over under this year. And I've been waiting for this one because I think this is one of my weirder takes. But I am
wait for this.
I am calling for the Raiders like complete plummet.
Ooh.
First overall pick type of plummet if the Panthers don't go 0-17.
the tanking battle.
I'm as down on Antonio Pierce as anyone you will meet. And longtime fans of the pod might be surprised by that because I picked the Raiders to make the playoffs in the midseason episode. But that was kind of for the same reason. I thought Antonio Pierce was the perfect interim coach.
Yeah.
He is a respected former player who is going to take the input of the players who've been playing in the system for 3-4 months. And he's going to roll that into a good final 8 games. And they did. I mean, they were spunky. 63 points on the Chargers. They slammed the Chiefs on Christmas Day. They had a great end of a season. That is a completely different skill from running a team.
Especially offseason wise.
Now this linebacker who honestly has no real experience taking advice from just these coaches, but every consultant that helps Antonio Pierce is really in the media, which makes me think that's almost for the players' benefit. Like, don't worry, he's getting advice from people. This is gonna collapse under him.
Yeah.
And it's just the law of unfortunate circumstance. They got rid of an interim coach, Bisaccia, in 2022 that they shouldn't have.
They should have kept him.
And this time, the players were going to mutiny if Antonio Pierce didn't get this head coaching job. That almost guarantees for me that it's going to go the other way. The reason you don't bring interim coaches in to set up their quote-unquote program for the offseason is because of what you're about to see. The Raiders are going down this year, folks.
I mean, I kind of agree with you on that. Mostly it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to really put it. It's like you had a system in place. The system wasn't great, but it was still a system. And then you're like, okay, players, you can do what you want now. That's kind of what Antonio Pierce was about. He's like, I'll let the players be players.
Within the structure that's already been set, though.
So here came this offseason. What's the structure now?
Yeah.
That the players get to do whatever they
now
want.
All the players are like, we should do it,
So that it's gone too far. Like, you still need that basic structure. I mean, offensive coordinator Luke Getsy? Who the heck is that?
No idea.
We're expecting this guy to run a good season with Garner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. Still no word on who's getting the job. Everybody just assumes it's Minshew, but I'm like, how bad is O'Connell?
Yeah. I mean, I could honestly see it being O'Connell because Minshew, as Jaguars fans will tell you, even Colts fans, he great PR when he's doing great, but then there is a lot of bad games.
You do. You bypass the bad games.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing about Antonio Pierce that we always gloss over because everyone's like, oh, yeah, remember Antonio Pierce was so good at the end of the season? There's a game right before that Chargers 63-pointer where everybody talks about that game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, Pierce comes in and it's fantastic, 63 points. The game before they scored 0. 0-3 at home against Minnesota in a dome. 0-3. It wasn't weather related. It wasn't anything. 0 points. Expect some of that this season where that offense is absolutely dreadful.
They lost 0-3 the week before. That's great.
Right? And everybody skips over there. Like, oh, dude, this team could put up points. I mean, the best part about the Raiders is their defense.
Yeah.
The defense is fantastic. Max Crosby and the signing of Christian Wilkins, awesome.
Huge. Yeah.
And I believe if Antonio Pierce got promoted to a defensive coordinator spot, I'd be more up on this team if they actually hired a coach. Because I think he can coach defense.
I like that.
But offensively, what are we doing? Because Devontae Adams is pissed.
Yeah.
He is pissed right now.
He's getting a lot of headlines about his anger at Jimmy Garoppolo in the Netflix Receiver series.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
and
we're a Jimmy Garoppolo hater podcast, so that's a victory lap for us.
Forever.
Yeah.
We hated them
from the beginning.
Back in New England, we hated that guy.
I once went on Reddit and said, as a Seahawks fan, I'm going to tell you this right now, not once have I ever been scared of Jimmy Garoppolo, period. And I got downvoted to hell. But he sucks. He sucks.
Right?
Anyway, we don't have to bash Jimmy Garoppolo, but he sucks.
Yeah. The problem is that, you got a great defense and you're just going to let the offense kind of do what they want. And the offense doesn't have that leader that can do that. You're going to let Minshew or O'Connell do whatever they want. Maybe you have to rely on the running game, but who do you got to run the ball? Nobody. You didn't draft anybody.
Jacobs is on the Packers now.
You got Zamir White.
He had 200-yard games, but
Alexander Madison, who was a bust in Minnesota. Amir Abdul, I can't believe he's still in the league.
The Raiders have one of the worst quarterback situations in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at least, the Panthers and Commanders and stuff have, maybe our rookie will turn into a superstar, however unlikely. The Raiders just have no hope. Even the top line play out of Minshew or O'Connell is probably not going to get it done. They're kind of with the Broncos, who we're about to talk about.
Yeah, right. They do got good receivers and tight ends. If they had a quarterback, hopefully they do suck this season so they can get one and actually play well, because Jacoby Myers is an underrated receiver. The tight ends, Brock Bowers is supposed to be a legend coming into the league. Yeah, and then they drafted, who was it, Michael Mayer last year?
Yeah, so they got a couple of tight ends,
They're there on a receiving-wise, as long as they keep Adams in the room. But, you're relying on the quarterback. The quarterback and the coach aren't good enough to carry this team. Right. And we're going to see it on the field. Yeah. Once it actually has to be put out there against actual NFL defenses, this is going to be a problem.
Yep. That's where I'm at. Just quarterback and coach. Although the pieces are fine, you can't. They're not even at the middle with quarterback and coach. They're below, well below. They're in the number 30, 31, 32 range on both quarterback and coach, and that just. You can't overcome that.
That's disaster written all over it.
The only thing to root for within the Raiders is Devontae Adams getting 100 touchdowns.
Yes.
So he's at 95 here. So we want to see him get his 100th touchdown. It's been a long time since we had somebody get a 100th touchdown in a fun way.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Adrian Peterson, middle of 2010 somewhere. He scored one with the Vikings. Frank Gore did score a 100th touchdown in the COVID year. But just befitting the crappy nature, the imposter nature of Frank Gore. Get out of our career leaderboards, Frank Gore, you imposter journeyman. He scored a goal line touchdown as a third string running back on the Jets in the COVID year with a bunch of piped in artificial noise and no fans. That's the 100th touchdown you deserve, Frank Gore. Anyway.
Sorry, Frank.
So Adams has a chance to get a 100th touchdown. Mike Evans also at 95 touchdowns, career touchdowns. Derrick Henry at 93. Tyreek Hill at 89. Who's going to get there first?
I like this because 100. That's a landmark. That's Hall of Fame status right there.
That's reserved for the best players.
Yeah, that's like at least top 30 in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, we've only seen a few get it. I said Gore, Peterson. Yep. That's already 10 years back. Gates, Gonzalez, Curtis. All the big names.
That's like 2 decades worth.
You're Hall of Fame if you get 100.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I like that little race. So Adams might get that week.
I think they should just try. I think the Raiders, to sell tickets, should hype that up.
Oh yeah, especially if it gets close. I must say that Gardner Minshew is a perfect Raider.
Yeah.
He fits that perfectly. He belongs in Vegas. He belongs to be wearing the silver and black.
He should be smoking on the sidelines.
Yeah. He just seems like that classic Raiders quarterback that you just you love to hate.
I agree.
You hate to love.
I am absolutely on board with that. But he unfortunately won't be the winning type of Raider.
I know. You're going to see both these quarterbacks this season.
Yeah.
Because as the coach, you have one bad week and there's going to be pressure to bench him for the next guy. And he's going to do it.
For a little while.
Yeah. He's going to bounce back and forth and ruin the consistency of this team. There might be another interim coach this year. Sorry, Raiders.
I believe it. All right. Over under 6.5. I think
over. Playoff bound division title.
Nothing you have said indicated that at all.
The defense is going to carry them 3-0 every game. Well, 6. You said 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, man.
I'm under. I already explained mine.
I think 5 or 6. I think you're thinking even lower than that.
Yeah, I would have picked under a 5.5. To be honest,
they got lucky to win the 7 or 8 games they won last year. So I can see this team falling apart, losing their composure. And The only guy that's going to be happy and smiling is Christian Wilkins because he got paid.
Well paid. I'm excited to watch that defense, especially early on, September.
Oh, yeah. When it's healthy,
Max Crosby
moving
and
quick.
Wilkins on the same line. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos.
Ooh, gosh. Let's get ready to rip a team.
8-9 last year. 5.5 over under this year. The Russell Wilson effect, I guess. It makes a difference of 3.5
Still
games.
paying him.
Yeah, still paying him.
Their highest paid player on the team.
Really. And he will be next year, too. It's like a dead cap of
so sad.
Dead cap of $85 million split across these next 2 years.
Sean Payton classic.
Yeah. And Sean Payton absolutely insistent they are not in a rebuild.
I know.
It's like, dude.
I used to like Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Back with the early Saints days when they won that Super Bowl, they had the whole Hurricane Katrina thing, and it was like I was for Payton. And then
that was fun time.
As things came out, in 2009 they had the defensive coordinator was paying people Bountygate. That's the year they won the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yep.
It's like since I kind of learned that and just the wasting of Drew Brees' career, I have completely gotten off the Sean Payton bandwagon.
The Taysom Hill insistence.
Seriously, like I don't really like him as a coach. He's a 500 coach. You're starting to remind me of Jeff Fisher a little bit.
Yeah.
Throw out a name for you.
To go back to the Beatles, Sean Payton is like the anti-produced George Martin, the producer of the Beatles.
Okay.
It's like if George Martin thought he was the reason the Beatles were good. And in the 70s, just started making albums. It's like, they gotta be good because I'm in charge.
Right.
Sean Payton thinks he's the reason Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And you can tell that because he insists they're not in a rebuild. He thinks he can make something out of these quarterbacks that, it's Zach Wilson from the Jets, just an unequivocal bust.
Oh, yeah.
Jarrett Stidham, the last guy you ever want to see walking out on the field. That means you're under your third string quarterback. And they drafted Bo Nix. It's like the Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe, except for it's like the house cat, the newt, and like the cardboard box.
I'm going with the newt.
The newt.
That's Stidham.
That's Stidham. I don't know. I was trying to find some really good analogy there, and I think I did it.
Zach Wilson's the cardboard box.
What's he going to get out of these has-beens?
Seriously, like, what are they expecting? They got a 3-quarterback battle.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen that in a long time.
And they all suck.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're even good enough to be backups on some teams.
This is worse than the Raiders situation.
It is, amazingly.
Like I didn't know you could be worse than that. It is shockingly bad.
They would love a Gardner Minshew.
They traded for Zach Wilson.
Dear God.
They traded for him.
Because Sean Payton thinks I'll make him good. Yeah. I'll do what I did with Breeze.
I know. He's got way too much confidence. So if you don't have a good quarterback or you don't even know who your actual quarterback is, that is a terrible sign for your season.
Yeah.
Like, nobody ever really does good coming into the season with a quarterback battle and they go off and make the playoffs or something. Like, this is already bad.
Yeah, if you have a quarterback battle between two quarterbacks who are like both starting caliber, maybe.
Yeah.
But this is
just hogwash.
This is the dregs.
Yeah. But Sean Payton, he thinks it can work, and I'm like, you don't have the weapons to make this work because they've gotten rid of they got rid of Judy because Judy's like, I'm out of here. I don't have a quarterback. They just wasted my career, or at least the beginning of it. So
yeah, well,
try
contesting a ball, Judy. So
I still like Javonte Williams as a running back.
Yeah, and they have Sutton.
Yeah,
he's a big body receiver, but it's weak.
But that's it.
It's weak.
Besides that, we're not listing off weapons. They didn't really draft anybody. They wasted it on Bo Nix, and let's just rail on Bo Nix because as bad as Stidham and Zach Wilson is, usually when you bring in a rookie quarterback, you're like, oh, this could work. Bo Nix sucked in college. Bo Nix wasn't even good to be on the first team that he was on, Auburn.
Yeah, go back to our draft episode if you want to hear our thoughts on Bo Nix and JJ McCarthy. Spoiler.
Anybody that I argue with the Broncos about, they're like, dude, it's Bo Nix. Like, what are you talking about, quarterback battle? Yeah. I'm just like, it's a quarterback battle. Bo Nix is not going to shine through this.
Any other quarterback gets a third senior season, he should dang well be crushing it. Yeah. And he should be doing way better than check down Bo Nix.
And it'd be nice if he could learn from a veteran, but that veteran is Zach Wilson.
Yikes.
and fucking Stidham. Sorry for my F-bomb, but yeah, like, that is awful. And Bo Nix sucks. He will see the field this season. This team will win some games.
Behind the newt.
Behind the newt.
Jarrett Stidham, the newt.
But this isn't going to look any better than your Russell Wilson years. I'm sorry, Broncos fans.
Yeah.
But you are still in quarterback hell right now.
Yeah. And you know, something about the Broncos that I think is another bad sign for them. Their defense has been good for like 4 years.
I know.
So last year they had a terrible start. Gave up 70 points to Miami.
But after that.
But after the first 5 games, they actually went on a really good tear.
Yeah.
Great defense. They had a good defense the year before. 2021, they had a good defense. 2019, they had a good defense. Like, they're actually coming out of a good defensive phase into this rebuild.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst case scenario. An aging defense. They're losing pieces. They lost their heart and soul. Justin Simmons, the safety, who has not been signed by anyone, so maybe they'll sign him back. But
Peyton's too stubborn for that.
Yeah, too stubborn. I agree with you.
And they don't have the cap room.
But like, it's like this defense has kind of played itself out. They're about to go on a downturn, I feel like, and that's just a horrible combo.
Yeah.
With this.
And I think this is just all goes to Sean Payton's ego. I can make it work. I'll just find the players and I'll just make them good enough, and we'll just find these diamonds in the rough all the time and make things work. I mean, Pat Surtain is not going to stick around on this team. That's their best defensive player right now.
Yeah, and he's great.
Yeah. But I wouldn't stick around if I'm him. I'm demanding a trade halfway through the season. Just get me out of here. Just get me out of this place. And Sean Payton's going to murder this thing. They're like, this is not a good rebuild.
And Vegas definitely agrees. We are at, it's not a rebuild according to Sean Payton.
Right? Friggin' ego, man.
5.5, which is as bad as any team we've talked about. That's tied with the Panthers. And the Patriots are the only team under it, 4.5. So, I mean.
Yeah, if you're on Panthers level, that's pretty bad.
It's a tough under. Yeah. That's a tough under.
I think this is why I changed my mind with the Chiefs going over.
Yeah.
Is because once I look back at all these teams that they're the division, like
Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, where you at here?
Yeah.
Help us with this dynasty that is growing in your division. Come on, guys.
They're screwing it up. I must say, now that we've talked about the most of the AFC West here, they do get to play the NFC South. So some of these teams might surprise you and get a few extra stupid wins that they're supposed to get, or they shouldn't have gotten if they had played a different division.
Okay.
You get to play Carolina. You get to play the bad Saints. Mm-hmm. You get to play, the Tampa Bay Bucks, and then the Falcons if they're okay this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
So there is that. 5.5. I think the Broncos win at least 6. As much as I hate Sean Payton, he can win at least 6 games.
Yeah,
you got a different quarterback every week, but they're going to win at least 6. The Jets won 6 last year. So, 5.5 is low. Like, you got to be bad. And if I'm so down on the Raiders like you are, if we're so down on the Chargers, the Broncos are going to win at least 6 games.
God, it's so low. It's really hard to take the under. I'm going to take it just to stick it into Sean Payton.
Right.
Not a rebuild. I'm taking the under on 5.5.
Ooh.
I
like it. I wish I can put my money where my mouth is on this one. But
I just think, like, if you're going with the Newt, Jarrett Stidham, or the cardboard box, Zach Wilson, or the house cat, Bo Nix.
Oh, man. Just such a good cornerback room.
Now, here is an overall thing I want to happen. Over the course of the 21st century, I want the Broncos, because now they're owned by Walmart, right? They've lost their ownership. The Bolins are done. This is going to be a badly run franchise from here. It's pretty safe to assume.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to just go into a Chicago Cubs, Boston Red Sox style drought for the next 4, 5, 6 decades. Just keep going, and we'll be able to tie it back to Peyton Manning. When the Broncos signed Peyton Manning in 2012, it'll be like they sold their soul for that 4 years. They signed the biggest free agent of all time, Peyton Manning, in 2012. Yep. They had him for 4 years. They won a Super Bowl at the very end as his powers failed at the end. And then they never won again. It'll be like when the Red Sox traded Babe Ruth. Like Waylon and his children we'll talk about the day the Broncos sold their soul for Peyton Manning, and they've never been good since. That's what I want for the Smellway Broncos.
Yeah, I like that because I've always hated the Broncos.
Me too.
As
Well, we hate them as kids.
Yeah, as a Seahawks fan, we used to be in the AFC West.
Yeah,
so
you go to the Kingdom. Yeah.
I like it. I want to call it the Osweiler curse. They lost Brock Osweiler. They could have been great.
We'll see. You never know how apocryphal legends form. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I think this team is doomed for a while. Sean Payton not admitting he's in a rebuild is just stupid. What are we doing? It's the
most Sean Payton thing.
Yeah, so I don't like it, but I do think they can win at least 6 games.
Okay,
I mean
it's a low.
That's a low bar. That's a low bar.
So I think it's safe to say the Chiefs are going to win the AFC West.
I mean, if anybody's picking against the AFC or against the Chiefs to win this division, they're an idiot.
Well, they're picking a Mahomes injury if that's the case.
Or you're just like a really ballsy gambler. Yeah. And you're just like, look at the odds. If I put 20 down on this, it's guaranteed, I'd make a lot of money.
I mean,
but it's just not worth it. I mean, the Chiefs got this division wrapped up. Nobody looks like they can actually compete with them. It was the Chargers for a while. We used to be calling this team the best team in the whole division. This division, the best whole division of all of them.
When Russell Wilson came to the division to start 2022,
and Devontae Adams came to the Raiders
24 months ago.
Yep,
they were like, I can't believe how good the AFC West is.
Yeah, this division's going to dominate everybody, and now here we are.
Really goes to show you that previewing the NFL season is a farce. Tune in
for our next episode
for NFC West. Yeah.
Quick little drop.
Okay.
This is the second quarterback we have talked about out of all these episodes that has won a Super Bowl.
Wow, really?
There are not Super Bowl winners anymore.
Who was Rodgers?
Rodgers, who's about to retire himself. Like everybody is like not a Super Bowl champion. Yeah. Hardly anybody's even been.
Yeah, because Brady retired, so that takes a lot of the Super Bowls away.
Mahomes, Rodgers, I think Hurts went to a Super Bowl, and that's it. Like that.
Goff.
Yeah, and Goff. Yeah. Well, we haven't talked about him yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
But we're still like, there's not that many quarterbacks that have actually made it to a Super Bowl. I think we need to start lowering expectations of if you haven't made a Super Bowl, you're a terrible quarterback. Because when you just look at the numbers, there's not that many that have actually gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you make it to a championship game, you're pretty dang good. You start winning some playoff games, you're pretty dang good. We need to lower the expectation of Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, I completely agree with you because the CBS broadcasts will be like, and he's going to be in a lot of Super Bowls. It's like, dude, how many Super Bowls do you think are going to be played?
Only 2 teams make it every year. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, but that puts in perspective what the Chiefs have done too.
Yeah,
people are like, Mahomes needs to catch Brady. It's like, let's just have some appreciation.
He's won 3
for what we're watching. 3 Super Bowls. He's been to another.
Yeah.
This is the greatest start to any career of all time. This is the equivalent of Dan Marino numbers in the 80s with Joe Montana Super Bowls in the 80s, and one player is doing it.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Just appreciate it while we got it.
Appreciate it while we got it.
If the Chiefs do go off for another Super Bowl and they get the 3-peat, don't be mad, folks.
Yeah.
Like, this is nice. This is wonderful to watch.
Because there's going to be a lot of Chiefs fatigue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's there. It was there last year.
It really got there last year with a lot of the
Swift thing.
The Swift thing and the Kadarius Toney going off sides, the way Mahomes reacted to that.
Yep.
People were not behind him.
Yeah, what a baby, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
but
it started.
Yeah, I like it. But Chiefs definitely win this division. This is going to be ugly.
Yeah.
They might have this wrapped up by week 11. Just like Andy Reid has got a nice coast into the playoffs. Just keep everybody healthy.
All right. Well, we'll be back to talk NFC West. My name's Miles.
I'm Kirk.
Good night.